Okie dokie. So, what happened today, Monday, August 19th, the day before the Chinook closure down here in the estuary? Well, good news is that this morning I saw probably more fish on my fish finder than I've seen all season. It was really good, and there were so many fish, in fact, that I figured we should be having lots of doubles and triples. It didn't happen that way. It was a good bite. It was not a wide open bite. We ended up getting 3 Chinook there and then picked off another Chinook a little bit later on. But the great news, especially considering what's happening after tomorrow, is that there were a lot of Coho caught today. We ended up landing 4 or 5. Only one was a keeper, but I know guys who just flat out whacked on Coho, and they are spread out from Buoy 10 all the way up to above the bridge on the Oregon and Washington side. So excellent. Very, very cool that there are a lot of Coho around because we are going to need them after the 20th. So anytime I get off the water, I always try and think through what happened throughout the day. I always try and think about what I did right, what I did wrong, what I would do differently the next time. And today, what I did right was not follow the crowd and stick to my guns and think, okay, this spot should fish fairly well right here this tide. Might only hit just a little small window of it, but I got out there and we killed the 3 Chinook really quick and felt like we should have done a little bit better. And I might have honestly probably left a little bit early, so that was one thing I did wrong. I probably left that troll a little bit early, but who knows. Went over to Churchill and that was pretty dead. It really didn't go off like the last 3-4 days it had. There were a lot of boats over there. There were a handful of fish caught and actually at low slack. It was actually a decent bite, not great, but a decent bite down there from pretty much the church all the way on down to Chinook El Waco. But there were a lot of people up along the picket fences there on the Washington side, and it was an okay bite, but it sounded like it started to warm up as the tide started coming in. Now that we're off the water, it sounds like those guys did pretty good. A little bit later on in the tide, the guys around Buoy 20 found some fish too. Today was just one of those days where Oregon side tankers, Shipwreck, Church Hole, Red Roof, RV Park, all the way on down to El Waco, Buoy 14, Buoy 20, 22, Hammond, guys caught fish everywhere today. It was not wide open in any one place. Not one boat did better than anybody else, but compared to yesterday, the entire fleet did way better today than they did yesterday. And that's just part of fishing. What a difference a day makes, right? So what was different between yesterday and today? Not much. I mean, maybe a little bit of southwest wind, but shouldn't have changed them that much. There were definitely more fish on the graph today, which was great. But, I think all in all, I did a lot of things right. What I could have done differently was maybe stay on the Oregon side a little bit longer. I tried to force a bite to happen down around Buoy 10 to Buoy 14. Just kept waiting for it to happen. I should have probably picked up and moved a little bit sooner. But everyone I talked to was seeing the same thing. No one was really catching fish anywhere. So, I don't know. Today, all in all, was a really fun day. And we caught a handful of Chinook. We didn't get Chinook for everybody. We released a few. We released 3-4 Coho. Killed the 1 Coho and got 4 Chinook. That was our total numbers for today. But there were a lot of boats that got all their Chinook. There were some boats that got Chinook and Coho. And going into this closure, I'll tell you what, on this tide set too, with the tides dropping, getting lower, the fact that we got Coho piling in, that is fantastic. That's awesome. So after tomorrow, we'll wrap up the Chinook season and we'll kind of recap what happened and what to expect going forward. And then after my first trip on Wednesday, we'll talk about retooling and how to target Coho specifically. So that way you guys can come out here and target these fish. 'Cause I'll tell you what, this place turns into an absolute ghost town. There's nobody here after the Chinook closes. And it's a shame because, in my opinion, Coho are better eating. There's going to be a lot of them, 600,000. And honestly, even if we get half that, that's still 100,000 more than what we had last year. That's fantastic. So it should be really, really good over the next few weeks. Hopefully you guys come down and participate in it because it is a very, very fun fishery. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow to recap the entire Chinook season once it ends. We'll see how tomorrow morning goes. And then we'll talk about retooling for Coho. All right, later.